I'm Matt Kendrick and welcome to Villa View. Well, they held their own from first whistle to the last, they showed great spirit and determination and they refused to go down quietly. But enough about the Aston Villa fans at Anfield. Martin O'Neill's players were simply shocking. Villa were as awfully inadequate as Liverpool were breathtakingly brilliant, as the Reds crushed them 5-0. Our man at Villa, Bill Howell, was there to witness an extremely depressing afternoon for Martin O'Neill's men. Here's his match in a minute.
Okay, Villa well beaten, 5-0 at Anfield. It's difficult to know what to say, to be honest. Obviously beaten by the better side. There were one or two debatable decisions that led to the goals. Whether Rio Coca fouled Riera, not sure. Quellar on Kite for the free kick. And obviously a big decision to send off Friedel for the final goal. But there can be no excuses, really. It was a hugely impressive Liverpool performance. Villa way below par, outfought, men against boys. No confidence. Certain players playing out of position, certain players, big players, not playing well. And when things started to go against them, they went hiding. One or two walking around with their hands on their hips and shaking their heads. And for once we saw Martin O'Neill sort of give up the ghost as well. We didn't see him come off the touchline much. Terrific fans today, sang till the end, sang about Randy Lerner and Martin O'Neill, gave Gabi Agbonlahor a huge shout when he came on. So that was pleasing. From a positive point of view, I don't know, Guzan did well when he came on. I'm just trying to think, Petrov and Barry did okay. John Carew looked sharp in that first half. And fair play to him, he looks a starter, definite at Old Trafford. But they've got to change the system now. They've got to play five in the middle, and the season has to start now, if you like. They've now got to draw a line under this, move on quickly, and let's see what they can do at Old Trafford. And if Old Trafford is another heavy defeat, fine. It happened last season. They'll have 7 games left then, 7 winnable games, and 5th place is still very, very achievable.
Martin O'Neill looked physically drained when he faced the press following the heaviest defeat of his Villa reign. But the Villa boss pulled no punches about his team's unacceptable collapse against Rafa's title hopefuls. Here's the manager's verdict.
We were well beaten. Liverpool played exceptionally well. We certainly contributed to our own downfall. Some of the goals that we conceded in the game. 1-0 behind, we've had 2 great chances. Goalkeeper's made an unbelievable save from John. And the second goal is just knocked us for 6. Well, Liverpool are playing very well at the moment. They're a very fine side. They've had 2 brilliant results just recently, one in the Champions League, obviously, and then one at Old Trafford. And I don't think that they would have needed any help from us today to produce a goal or 2 if that was possible, but we certainly helped them. They're a very fine side.
Villa's away support did their bit to make amends for the angry reaction at Villa Park the previous weekend by cheering their team on throughout. John Byrne was among the Claret and Blue Army who made the miserable trip to Merseyside. Here's what he thought.
Well, I'm not too sure today whether it was Villa playing poorly or Liverpool just overwhelming us, really. So many chances that first half from Liverpool, it was becoming an onslaught. But as far as the Champions League now is concerned, we've got to get something out of the next few games. If not, then I think it's going to be too much for us, to be honest with you. I can't really see it happening.
Not surprisingly, there's been an extremely negative reaction to the latest setback for Villa from fans on email and the message boards. Here's a brief selection of your views. This one's from M. Kelly from Kings Heath. The chickens at Villa Park have really come home to roost now. A whole season thrown away by the blunders of Martin O'Neill. A UEFA Cup final place literally thrown away to rest fit Premier League players. The net result of that decision culminated at the weekend with the Anfield shambles of performance. It was men against boys, with no evidence of O'Neill's inane ramblings about world-class players in his squad. Mid-table is now reality after Sunday's dreadful performance. And this one from M. Hain from Sutton Coldfield. Villa's season took a turn for the worst with a controversial selection of a virtual reserve side for the UEFA Cup match in Moscow. It had been obvious in the previous UEFA and FA Cup games that the fringe players were not good enough. Also, Martin O'Neill continually selects players out of position and picks players who are out of form. The obvious answer is that in nearly 3 years at the club, O'Neill has failed in every transfer window to strengthen the squad sufficiently in terms of both quantity and quality. So you're obviously unhappy out there. Villa now face a 2-week break to put right what's gone so horribly wrong in recent weeks. But it doesn't get any easier for Martin O'Neill's men, who face a daunting trip to Old Trafford to take on Sir Alex Ferguson's title contenders, themselves reeling from an alarming dip in form. We'll be back 2 weeks from now for the next instalment of Villa View, when we hope to be reporting happier tidings from the boys in claret and blue. Until then, I'm Matt Kendrick, this is Villa View, goodbye.